Thank you to our tab team. Please stay seated at the conclusion of the last performance for the introduction of the judging panel and the 6 competitors. Our first performer, contestant S416 or S2416, with the program entitled Confessions of a Prairie Bitch.
It's the nicest home in all of Walnut Grove. We have carpets in every room and 3 sets of dishes. One for every day, one for Sunday, and one for when someone special and important comes to visit. The producers went hysterical. I was hired on the spot. When I auditioned for Little House, going over the script, I noticed something. I had never seen what I saw in Nellie Oleson in any other character I had read for. I mean, this was not the same ordinary, insipid little child character. Gosh, Mom, help me with the church bake sale. You bet! This was a girl who wouldn't be caught dead doing any of that crap and would tell you so to your face. A total bitch! I had no idea what I was getting myself into. The first time I learned what RBF stands for, resting bitch face, was the first time I was told I had it. And that I should fix it. In fact, I'd wager to bet that every woman in this room has been told at one point or another to change herself, soften herself in order to seem more likable. When Little House on the Prairie first premiered in 1974, the country was up in arms over the extremely unlikable, yet three-dimensional character of Nellie Oleson. In her memoir, Nellie's actress, Allison Arngrim, reminds us that being you, even if that's loud, crass, unladylike, is pretty badass, and a luxury that should not be reserved for men. Confessions of a Prairie Bitch by Allison Arngrim. I loved my first script, Country Girls, because I had the punchline. I snarl at Laura and Mary and say, country girls don't even know what a blackboard is. The show made you feel good. It made you appreciate what you had and stop bitching about what you didn't. The day after Country Girls aired, this girl on the street saw me and yelled out, "You bitch!" Technically, this was my first review. And there was only one thing to do. All right. Thank you! Later that year, I appeared as Nellie at an Easter Fair fundraiser in Los Angeles. I was walking down the sidewalk when bam! I was kicked in the ass. But not 1, but 2 feet. I heard my assailants giggle and run away. I had pretended to be someone else on TV, done it so well, in fact, that just the sight of me inspired these 2 girls to beat me to the ground. Over time, I got used to the side eyes, snarls, and literal ass kickings, but a few years ago, I attended the Los Angeles Celebrity Autograph Show. A woman strolled in and stopped dead in her tracks. She quickly went from what seemed to be abject shock and horror to boiling rage. She held her head up, looked at me, and announced, in all seriousness, "I forgive you." And then walked out. No autograph, no hi, how are you? This woman didn't know me. This woman had never seen me in her life. But she knew what she had done. Nellie. A grown woman had been driven to a state of rage and was forgiving me for what I'd done on television, pretending to be someone else nearly 30 years ago. I live every day with the knowledge that what was supposed to have simply been a really good gig, a role in a major TV series, has instead morphed into this bizarre alternate version of reality, where I am repeatedly held to account for the actions of a fictitious character. Oh, and not just any character, a bitch! A girl millions of people grew to hate. She was the girl I grew to love. Well, I, for one, am happy I was the Nellie. Proud. She put food on my table and clothes on my back for most of my life. By making me a bitch, you have given me the freedom to do and say things that I couldn't do if I was a nice girl. Things that require courage. Things that require balls. You know, any idiot can be liked. It takes courage to scare the crap out of people. And if enjoying that as much as I do makes me a bitch, well, good. I will wholeheartedly embrace Nellie Olson until the last bitchy breath leaves my body.
Our next performer, contestant S2287, with the program entitled My Parents' Bedroom.
I'm 9 years and 7 months old. I'm at home in my room playing peekaboo with my little brother Jean. It's Saturday evening and the sun has fallen way behind the hills. Mama walks in and turns off the lights before we see her. Do not turn on the lights tonight. Do you hear me, Monique? Here go, Mama. And do not open the door for anyone. I'm not home. Papa is not home. No one is home. Do you hear me, Monique? Here go, Mama. And when they ask you, say you're one of them, okay? You need to learn to take care of yourself, Monique. You just have to. Okay, Mama. I promise. In 1994, the Rwandan genocide erupted, resulting in the killing of thousands of Tutsi people by the Hutu militia. Uwam Akpan's story transcends this historical event, delving into the nuanced tragedy of a family torn apart from within. Through Monique's eyes, we gain a deeper understanding of the complexities of this genocide, as Akpan portrays our Hutu father's betrayal to his Tutsi wife, highlighting the intricate layers of identity and allegiance that fueled this conflict, and exposing the senseless voice that devastated a nation for years. While the Holocaust is often covered in history books and in classrooms, the Rwandan genocide remains a lesser-known and frequently overlooked tragedy. My Parents' Bedroom by Uwam Akpan. In a dream, I hear Tonton Andre's voice. Tonton Andre is Papa's brother. Monique, Monique, you must open the door for me. Tonton Andre is actually yelling outside our house. I hear his voice again. Monique, Monique, you poor sweet thing. You must open the door for me. Your papa is here with me. I peek through the broken glass. But Tonton Andre walks in with a group of men, women, all armed. Where is your mama? Mama? Mama just left. And where is your papa? Papa? You said Papa was with you. Papa! Papa! You mean to tell me that my bastard brother and his wife are not home? When they return, tell them there is no escape. All roads are blocked. And you, clever little girl, If you want to live, don't leave this house for anything. There are ghosts everywhere. Bad ghosts. The big-bellied man with San Andre asked me to hug him. I avoid his hands and I sleep under the bed, but he pulls me up by my ankles and falls on me with his nakedness. I scream! Intenga Borika Borimo! I scream for San Andre, but he doesn't respond. I'm scared of ghosts, so I limp. And I limp to the parlor to see my parents. Here go, Papa. Shh. My daughter, I promise I won't let anyone harm you again, okay? I promise. Soon, there is a knock on the door. A mob comes into our house chanting. That's the man who attacked me. So I cling onto Papa. Mama runs stiffly across the room. I chase after her and I bang the door. Mama, what's happening? The men come into our room, bringing Papa. They give Papa a big machete and his hands begin to tremble. My people, I cannot do this, please. Let another do this. I cannot kill my wife. I cannot do it, no. You traitor. Were you not there when I killed my wife yesterday? My pregnant wife. You have to kill your wife now, or I will kill you, your wife, and your children. Mama, I don't want to die. I want to live. Mama, wake up. Papa, help me, Mama! Wait. I don't want to die. I want to live.
Our next performer, contestant S2265, with the program entitled Stalking the Boogeyman.
Around this time last year, I was planning to kill a man. I was gonna walk right up to him and just blow his brains out. I was gonna watch him writhe on the ground like a poisoned cockroach, just for a few seconds. I was confident I would get away with murder because there was nothing in recent history to connect me to him. Homicide investigators often look for a motive, but mine was buried 25 years in the past. For far too long, our society has overlooked the sexual abuse experienced by men. Statistics discovered that 27% of men have been sexually victimized at some point in their lives. In his formative years, David was an innocent child full of wonder until he was raped by the very man that he idolized. This piece will illuminate the stories of those who suffered molestation in silence, like David in the story of Stalking the Boogeyman by David House. The man who I was going to kill was the one who, in 1978, I was 11 years old and I was in the 2nd grade, and a police officer came to our school, Officer McGruff. He came to our school and warned us about strange men and cars offering children candy. But Officer McGruff didn't say anything about the son of my mom and dad's best friend. Our families had moved to Alaska that year, and his dad worked with my dad, and he was 10 years older than me, and he was a star athlete in high school. The Anchorage Daily News ran a profile on him in the sports section, and so my mom cut it out of the newspapers and she hung it on the refrigerator. I really looked up to him. And I thought he was really super cool. And then one night, his parents had my parents out for dinner. And he asked me if I wanted to come inside his bedroom and play with all his karate stuff. Ninja stars, nunchucks, and a curved sword. And then we started to play. But he did not play nice. He put the blade to my neck and backed me into a corner and said, "Take your pants off." The term child molestation doesn't even begin to describe what happened next. He said if I told, he would come into my house in the middle of the night and gut me like a salmon. Whenever he and I were alone in the same room and no one was looking, he would cup both of his hands around his and give me a boogeyman smile. The last time I was face to face with him was a few days ago. I was visiting home from college my sophomore junior year, and I needed a cheap suit for a job interview, so I went to Harry's of Hong Kong's, and there he was. A 31-year-old suit salesman and a boogeyman. I immediately realized two things. One is that he was no longer bigger than me. I had 6 inches and 50 pounds on him, and what matters more in a street fight than size is motivation. And the second thing I realized is that I was going to kill him. Just walk right up to him and scrape him off this earth like a piece of dog shit off my shoe. But I didn't. He wasn't the boogeyman anymore. He was real. He swore he never did it to anybody before, and he swore he'll never do it again. I didn't come from a religious household, but he did. And I was reading this testament from Romans, and it said, "Do not take revenge, my friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, it is mine to avenge." So who is the boogeyman? Now.
Our next performer, contestant S2262, with the program entitled "Da Kink in My Hair."
Now you know, Ma Romy used to say, "Ma, you worry too much. Ain't nothing ever gonna happen to me. Oh, and then he would smile, that soft, easy smile that crept all across his beautiful face. Oh, and then those eyes that would always let me know that child was up to something. When Patsy loses her only son, Jerome, to a senseless tragedy, her world shatters. In her grief, she clings to memories of his vibrant spirit and reflects on the injustices that plagued his life. But this is more than just a story of personal loss. It is a searing portrayal into the broader racial injustices woven into the fabric of the Black experience. Patsy's sorrow is a mother's lament, but it is also a call to confront the systemic inequities that continue to take young Black lives. And I know I speak for more than just myself when I say that Black families are tired of losing children to a system that still refuses to accept them. The Kink in My Hair by Trey Anthony. That child had me fooled for a while, turning back all the clocks in the house, and me not even knowing, until I found out I had missed my church service. I tell you that day, some divine intervention got into me, and I cut up his behind. 6'3", real tall, you know. I would call him Jerome when I got serious, but otherwise he was just Romy, my Romy. And I remember that night I had said, Jerome, I don't have a good feeling about this. The streets aren't safe for young Black boys. And Romy just smiled, and he kissed me right here. And before I know it, he's racing down the front step. Jerome, be careful. Now, he told me he'd be back in here by 12:30. And I told him his butt better be back in here by 12 a.m. And he was off. And I thought I should have told him that I loved him. I love you. And I should have begged. I should have begged for him to stay home. Because he was lying on the ground, you know, on the cold, hard ground, bleeding to death. They were outside in the school parking lot, and 1 minute Romy is laughing, and then there's a... And Romy fell to the ground. Now, no one knows who did it. No one knows why. Nobody's talking about it. And there were no witnesses. There were no witnesses. There were no witnesses. Nearly 200 kids in a parking lot. And nobody saw a damn thing. But someone killed my boy. They shot him 8 times, and my baby is gone. They killed him. And now I know that as a mother, right, you're supposed to help them. guide them, teach them, and keep their butts in line. But you're not supposed to bury them. A mother is never supposed to bury her son. Well, I took an ultrasound the other day, and it's a boy. Me, a mother, again. I thought about you, Romy. Maybe he'll have your eyes.
Our next performer, contestant S2158, with the program entitled Love of a Brother.
Okay. High five. Oh, right. Where was I? Do you know what a Groundhog Day is? See, there's this old movie I used to watch back in the 90s with my grandfather. Basically, this guy just lives the same day over and over again, no matter what he experiences. And even if he had already experienced that day, he lives it over again the next and the next, and oh my goodness, I'm doing it again. I am so sorry. Believe it or not, who I am is quite hilarious. I am a frat guy. And I know what you're thinking. Me? This guy living in this place telling you the history of his life, but yeah. You know, coming from where I had been, this place is actually a huge step in the right direction. There were days when I was so lost that I would look up in the sky and wonder what that big yellow thing was floating in it. I'm sorry, I've been rude. You're probably thirsty, right? Can I get you something to drink? Beer, maybe? In October 2025, the parents of Sawyer Updike, a fraternity pledge in the Sigma Chi chapter at the University of Texas, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the fraternity after their son took his own life as a result of the hazing that he experienced in the rush process. The Hazing Prevention Network estimates that of the millions of college students in America, over 55% will experience hazing by the time they graduate. So this performance is for Sawyer and for every other unsuspecting college student who joins an organization in search of hope and instead is met with torture. Love of a Brother by Drake Russell. By the time I got my invitation, I had heard of hazing, but it was sort of like grooming the way they walked us into it. We'd get calls in the middle of the night asking us to do the most bizarre things like clean our apartments in our underwear while our sorority sisters watched. Yeah, that was a little bit more embarrassing for some of us than others, if you know what I mean, but sometimes when you're in a bad situation, it's impossible to see anything but the reward on the other side of this massive wall you're trying to climb. You know, I finally realized that on initiation night. We got to this house, and there were drinks and drugs and girls everywhere. Everything you need for a great frat party. And, well, my strategy was simple. Stay sober long enough to meet the guys and flirt with the chicks, and I'd be in. And after a few minutes, they lined us up and they told us they had room for 10 of us in the fraternity. I was in college. I could count. There were way more than 10 of us standing in that line. And as crazy as it sounds, my first thought wasn't, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. It was, okay, I only got a couple guys to beat. But after a few minutes, they realized that I wasn't drinking enough. And so I went for something, and they had restrained me, and one of them grabbed my neck, and they were shoving alcohol just straight down my throat, and I tried to get away, and I found myself fighting for my life at the hands of my brothers, and 2.5 months later, I woke up out of a coma. And while I was out, they took a box cutter to my stomach and carved the letters of the fraternity in as a way to brand me, as if I could forget. Remember what I was saying about Groundhog Day? Yeah, that's my hazing nightmare that I live literally every single day of my life. And my brothers, they never even came to visit me one time. And you know what? Now they won't have to.
Our next performer, contestant S2191, with the program entitled The 16th Round.
And over in the opposite corner, we have Nelson Glenn. Ding, ding. Left hook. Oh, and another left hook. A jab, a weave, and Nelson hits the mat. The Hurricane has done it again. Reuben, my Christian name, comes from the book of Genesis, chapter 29, verse 32 of the Holy Scripture. Hurricane, well, that's my professional name, and Carter is my slave name. Reuben Hurricane Carter. Well, let me ask y'all a question. Who would you say is more addicted to violence? The sadistic people who spend a large sum of money just to watch it? Or the one like me, who found a way to make his money's worth? The stigma of the angry black man has been prominent in our society for generations. Reuben Hurricane Carter, one of the greatest middleweight boxers in the world, went from fighting for his life every day in the ring to fighting for his life every day in prison. This stigma will not go away with time. This stigma must go away with the effort that we put down to protect our children. Reuben's story forces Americans to face the harsh reality that we are turning our young black children into threats before we see them as leaders, visionaries, or even just kids. This is the 16th round by Reuben Hurricane Carter. You see, my mom, she would always say, Reuben, honey, what are you planning to do with yourself? And I could tell by her tone and her expression that she was more concerned than anything. It was just the expression on her face that made me want to do something with my life. Because when she smiled, I was happy. And when she was happy, man, I felt marvelous. Me and my brother Jimmy, we came to spend a great deal of time at this place called Tubbs. Now, Tubbs, it was this small little river valley surrounded by waterfalls. And man, we had swam half the day away when, hey, yo, Reuben, look at that bum over there stretched out in the grass. Ooh, that cat is really toe up. And then we saw him. It was an old white man in the grass. He didn't seem to be drunk or anything. He just said, come here, boys. I got something I want to show you. Where you going? You little black bastards. Well, now I'ma have to take some. And then the man, he picked up my friend and he slammed him to the ground and he started getting on top of him. No, somebody, please, mama. But the man, he was too strong for me. And I felt this anger and this fear erupt within my body. So I grabbed a soda bottle. Let my friends go! Oh, no. What have I done? What have I done? Days passed after that. Days of which I knew nothing about. Days full of worry and stress from my beautiful mother. I wonder what they would do to me. Maybe they'd give me probation. Or maybe they just let me go home. But I found a new home. A juvenile center for delinquents. See, I wanted to see that juvenile labor system destroyed from stem to stern. And I wanted to see it happen out of pure hatred and vengeance for the crimes committed against me. I mean, somebody had to pay for destroying the at peace with himself group. That ain't hurt nobody, Reuben. Somebody had to pay. Now I'm coming to you. I've tried the courts. I have exhausted the people. I've spent all of my money. For the first time in my life, I'm asking for help.
And at this time, with the 6 finalists and their coaches in poetry reading, please line up.
Your winners in prose reading are, in 6th place, Monique Gakwawo from Newark Central High School in New Jersey, coached by Dennis K. Filbert, Isaiah Briggs, Chadaria Okea, and Ulawadi Marley Odukaimai. In 5th place, Josh Manuel De Leon from University High School in New Jersey, coached by Saul Gruron. In 4th place, Brittany Deere from Barringer High School in New Jersey, coached by Michael Sowell and Bianca Iguilo. In 3rd place, receiving a $250 scholarship is Dylan Tobias from St. Andrews Episcopal School in Mississippi, coached by Ja-Rick Shields and Darren Meyer. In 2nd place and receiving a $500 scholarship is Luke Speller from Clear Falls High School in Texas, coached by Thomas Cosenza.
And your champion of prose reading, receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Bob and Sally Stockton, is Clara Litherden from Lakeville North High School in Minnesota. And Clara is coached by Kate Hildebrand. Congratulations.